the Raw Report. I'm Dice Raw. Joining me today is Queen Joe, a.k.a. Hey.
I'm Ciara, a.k.a. Queen Joe.
Oh, I got it backwards. See, that's fucking up already. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is the Raw Report. Producer D is on tour, so he wouldn't be able to join us. Bomb, you know what to do. All right, so boom. So we got our first guest on the Raw Report, our first real guest. Because, I mean, we have Producer D, we have Truck sometimes, we had Phil last episode, and then we had Greg. You know what I'm saying? Greg from the Brothers Network. Did that episode ever go up? Did I ever?
I don't know. I didn't see it on Apple.
I don't know what's going on. Greg, I don't think they liked you, Greg. Greg calls me every day and says,
What is Greg's last name?
Walker.
Okay.
Greg be like, he's like, Carl, yeah, people are lying to you, Carl. You need to get new people. I'm like, Greg, nobody's lying to me. He said, that podcast should have been up weeks ago.
Is that what he sounds like, or is that your interpretation?
This is my interpretation of Greg.
Okay,
You know
I
what
love
I'm
your
saying?
interpretation of Greg.
Greg's very smart, but he also runs an arts organization that amplifies brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the black men.
It's so many of them.
He tried to show that, you know, black people are more than just, you know, pistols and gold teeth and watermelon and fried chicken. I mean, that's what I'm about. But other black people, you know what I'm saying? Shit that they into, like the high,
First of
the
all,
more
let me
highbrow
just say,
intellectuals.
everybody loves.
Fried chicken. Let's keep it real.
Well, I don't like fried chicken, but everybody loves watermelon.
Everybody loves watermelon. First of all, watermelon
Everybody
is a superfood.
loves watermelon.
It's a superfood.
I don't know how black people just got attached to it, and then you got these saying both things, but
Because they tried to get
everybody
niggas to
likes-
stop eating it because of the nutrients in it. That was a white man trick. Sorry, white man. You tried to trick niggas into not eating watermelon because it's so good for us.
I just think that they just thought it was funny to have characters spit out seeds.
Yeah. Like a machine gun?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually did that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though now, guess what, white man? We eat seedless watermelons from Whole Foods. How about that? Didn't see
if
that
it's
shit coming.
seedless, it's something wrong with it. It is chemically altered. Go find the one with the seeds, please.
Really? I'm fucking with the one without the seeds. Anyway, Ciara's here, a.k.a. Queen Joe. It's our first female guest, so making sure that Bomb doesn't get me too today. You know what I'm
First of all,
saying?
he called me a female, so he already messed up.
Well, that was me. That was me fudging up. But not enough about me, but about President Biden. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it.
Yes.
Let's get right. He's fucking up all over the place. Biden, you believe those Afghani Taliban bastards, and now look at you. You thought the Taliban was your buddy. You tried to be buddies with them. It's the Taliban. I mean, Ciara,
When
correct me
did
if
he
I'm
try
correct.
to be buddies with them?
He was just buddies with them. He believed every word the Taliban leaders said to him. They said, Biden, yeah, we'll let people leave. Yeah, Biden won't be in any trouble at the airport.
You
yeah,
believe
Biden,
that he believed that?
he believed it.
No,
he
he
fell for a
didn't.
hook, line, and sinker, Ciara.
Oh,
Okay,
my
now
God.
educate me. No, educate me, Ciara. That's why I
I'm
wanted to
not
have
try-
you on the show.
Oh, here you
because you're a
go.
very
I'm
intelligent
not-
woman. So I wanted you
no.
to give my audience an
No,
education
okay, so
on a liberal point of view.
From a liberal. First
I'm
of all,
joking.
am I a liberal? Am I a liberal?
No, we're all liberals. I'm liberal about some stuff, and then some stuff I'm
So
like
first-
Stalin about.
So let me just say that
Some
it's
shit
really
I'm like
funny.
Stalin with. Some stuff I'm like
This is
Jimmy Carter.
This is crazy because in real life, right, when you think about black people or even just black and brown people regardless, but especially black people, everybody assumes that they're liberal just because they don't vote Republican. And the reason why they don't vote Republican is because most Republicans are racist. But black people are actually very conservative. They're deep as hell in the church. You got a large portion of them who don't believe
Amen
in
to that.
same-sex marriage, which is
Well, I
crazy.
believe in same-sex marriage.
So many of them also agree that they should be able to firearms, have the right to
Right,
guns.
right,
So all the things that Republicans say that they're for are a large portion of the black community support that. They just don't support Republicans because they're racist.
Wait, are Republicans racist?
Not all of them, but most of the ones who run are.
What about Jay-Z? Is he a racist? He's a black Republican. Is Jay-Z racist?
Is he a black Republican?
I think he is. He's got this song, I'm a black Republican nigga. I'm saying fuck it there. It was him and Nas, yo. They was going back to... All right, anyway. I'm not sure if Jay-Z's a black Republican, but that's a good question. Are black Republicans racist pieces of shit? Now, I'll tell you what. Like, because you can be black and still racist. You know
You
what I'm
can
saying?
be conservative and not call yourself a Republican. I'm not saying that black people are Republican. I'm saying black people are conservative.
All right.
They have the same conservative beliefs collectively. Not all of them, but a lot of black people are very conservative. Yes.
Now that okay, to your point, one of my friends, a guy I respect this guy. He's an OG. He's an OG. He knows what I'm talking about. He plays golf. He's an OG. He's one of my OGs. So he's like, I guess it's like a double OG if you're my OG. You say he's a double OG. He's not a triple. He's not a triple OG yet, but he's a double. And he said to me, he said, Dice, he says, well, he called me Carl. He says, Carl. He says, I would say that you're more conservative than some racist white people. I said, me? Conservative? He said, well, yeah, look where you live and look where you da-da-da-da. I said, but that has nothing to do with me being conservative. I just live where I live. I eat what I eat and do what I do, and I believe what I believe. Now, there's some things I am conservative about, but I think I'm more liberal about most things.
I think that when we think about business, you are definitely conservative. I think that you really do agree with. Well, let me not force this on you, but I do think that when we talk about what a free market is, right, and just supporting the small businessman and or even supporting corporations in certain areas, or what the powers of certain CEOs can have, what they can't have, not being taxed, big businesses not being taxed. I know for a fact that if you had a big business, you'd definitely be like, don't tax me.
Yeah, well, I work at a nonprofit. You know
now,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So it's like, yo, don't tax us definitely, because we've already filed our paperwork correctly, and that, it just seems that there's a lot of liberals that work in nonprofits. You don't really see Republicans running into the nonprofits, adding their services, which I think would be helpful if more Republicans actually did join nonprofits boards or even work there and actually use that Republican brain to help some of these nonprofits get their ish together. You know what I'm saying?
And then they will want to be paid a specific fee that a nonprofit cannot afford.
Some of these nonprofits are kicking out some heavy debt. I mean, not Freedom Theater. We're a black nonprofit.
Listen, that is very true, because there are a lot of CEOs who take these huge cuts. And I feel like even if you put somebody else who is more entrepreneurial, they might take an even bigger cut. Who knows?
Right. Well, I mean, it all depends on what kind of work you're doing. Now, see, I realize that some of these arts organizations, they got these big salaries, but then people aren't really doing anything. You know what I mean?
No,
and it's
facts.
Just like, and then they kind of just shuffling papers around.
Facts.
And there's no benefit for the community. There's no artists. And that's why at Freedom, we're artist driven. Anyway, enough about us. Back to Biden. So Biden, I'm going to talk to Biden right now. Ciara, you don't mind?
Oh, go ahead.
He watches the show.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he watches the show. So Biden, listen. You gotta stop thinking the Taliban are your buddies.
Why
They're not
do you
your
keep
buddies.
saying that?
Because he listened to everything they tell him. They said,
What
hey,
you mean?
we're going to let people leave Afghanistan safely.
So
the beautiful people of Afghanistan deserve better.
So this is the thing. He is the one, to me, who believed them the least. Because the reason why Trump and Obama and all those people kept our people in Afghanistan is because they believed that at some point Afghanistan was going to eventually be a free town, that they were going to have a democracy. And so they kept our people there for long as hell. First of all, even if they weren't being murdered, they're mentally fucked up. I had a brother who served in Afghanistan who came back and had to go through years of therapy. Not just that, he used to drive in the middle of a 2 different way street, because he said in Afghanistan, everybody knew you drive in the middle of the street because there's bombs on both sides. So instead of when they're going in two different directions in the lane, he's in Philadelphia driving middle of the line, could get hit by 2 different people. The PTSD that they have is wild. And when you think of what people say, where it's like, you have our people over there for a war that we didn't even, it don't got nothing to do with us. It really doesn't. And granted, I do understand why people are like, you should pull out gradually, right? But at the end of the day, damage is damage done. At some point, you need to cut that shit the fuck off, because people kept saying, oh, we'll bring the troops back in 5 years. Oh, we'll bring the troops back within 2 years. And they don't. They just keep sending more and more people out there. So this seems like, ripping off of a Band-Aid. Now, did people die? Yes. But
Biden lied. People died, Ciara.
I like your tagline. You make a good Republican.
Biden lied. People died. No, I agree with you. I agree with you on everything you just said was spot on, and you just educated me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is all about. Not just to educate the people who watch the show, but sometimes I even have to take a step back and say, Dice, listen to your guests. They're dropping jewels. They're dropping jewels. And that's powerful stuff.
Speaking of jewels, did you see the
Annihilation?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we saw the Annihilation. We covered it. We covered the Annihilation last week, but we could talk about it. I love to get a female's take on that because I'm a big Cameron fan. I used to ride around bumping Cam 24 hours a day. Haven't been able to listen to him since.
What's your favorite Cameron verse?
Baby, come with me, come stay the night. Baby, come with me. Now my favorite Cameron song might be While I Feel Like I'm Losing Weight. Well, I ain't got no money if I'm moving weight. My life based upon what I'ma do today. Copper crib, new estate. Fuck it. Get the beef from Brock's. Blue and gray.
I like that. You want to know what mine is?
He should have did that. Cam, why didn't you do that? You had it. You could have did that. Anyway, go ahead.
You want to know what mine is?
Yeah.
Mine is, hey, boy, you promised me Kate Spade, but that was last year, boy, in the 8th grade. And you ain't Biggie, baby boy. So no, it ain't one more chance. When your friends around, you don't want to hold my hand. And so you see a girl styling and wilding outside the whips, hopping out the whips, the 5, the 6. Yes, fly chrome, support my tone. Here go a quarter, go call Tyrone. Nobody knows that Cameron wrote that 3LW verse.
All right. No, I didn't know that.
That is my favorite Cam verse.
But it does sound like Cam, though.
It sounds exactly like him. Hopping out the whips, the 5, the 6.
3LW.
3LWs.
Three
no
little
more.
women. You know what's so funny? My zip code ends in 702, and every time I tell somebody my zip code, I always think about 702.
Where my girls at?
Where my girls at? That was like that same era. It was like, yeah, but the Annihilation was brutal. I love to get a female's take on that.
Listen, first of all, I loved it. I really love and respect Styles P and Jadakiss.
What about Sheek Louch? No respect for him?
Well, I haven't met him. I've met the other two, so I was literally going off of like personal experiences.
Right.
And they are some of the most down to earth dudes.
Yeah.
But more than anything, they're really like good. Like I knew that they were gonna whip. I knew they was gonna whip them before that. If you've ever been to, like literally, if you go to a show that Styles P is gonna be at, even if you aren't a Styles P fan and you don't know any songs, when you watch him perform, he draws you in. I've gone to different Dipset shows, right? You could see Cameron, you could see Jim Jones, you could see any of them, and they're so high on stage. Half the time they don't remember their own words. I saw Jim.
That's Jewels. He's
I saw
Jewels is
Jim
doing some powerful shit.
I saw. Yes.
What's in Jewel's blunt? That's what I want to know. Jewels, what's in your blunt?
I don't know, but
that's not weed. Anyway,
oh my God.
Yeah.
But
I'll say a prayer for Jewels.
I saw Jim Jones at Silk City. He had a set that was supposed to be 30 minutes. He did one song. And just smoked for the rest of the day. It was people there that was mad as hell. That was like, oh my God, I came here for this. And I was just like, I want to say that I'm surprised.
One of my friends, right? He's president of a bank. This guy, right? He's president of a fucking bank. Very buttoned up kind of guy, conservative. I don't even know why we hang out. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, we got a lot in common, I guess, on other stuff. But he's a big Jewel Santana. I mean, not Jewel's. Jim. He's like, Dice, have you heard Jim's new album? I was like, did I hear Jim's new album? Like, nah.
Listen, Jimmy got some.
I haven't heard it. I mean, no disrespect to Jim Jones, like, because I don't want him to kill me or anything. I don't want to start a Crips and Bloods thing.
Jimmy got some good
songs. Because he's a Blood. I'll have to join the Crips in order to get Jimmy off my ass. You know what I'm saying? Crips, if there's an opening, I'm your guy. Crips, if there's a room for, but you're not supposed to jump off the porch. That's what they call it, jumping off the porch.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yeah, you got to jump off the porch before you're 20 or 21, because otherwise now you're doing what I'm doing. You're trying to get Crip protection. Oh, you're not a real Crip.
I saw a little thing.
You're trying to get gang affiliation.
Yeah. I saw Gilly talk about that for a little bit. I think when they were referring to the whole 6ix9ine thing.
Right.
And then in the comment section, there was people that was like, yeah, like people like Chris Brown and all those other people.
Oh yeah, jumping off the porch all late. They're not real gang members. It's like, and my whole thing is, if you didn't grow up and have to join a gang as like part of a neighborhood thing or whatever, why join it as an adult? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. I was just joking about joining the Crips, But I have lots of Crip friends. I've got blood friends. I've got Crips and blood friends.
Okay.
And but I never felt the need to join. Like that wasn't never like my.
But
thing.
the original thing wasn't supposed to be like that. That wasn't like.
I don't know. I sure hope not.
No, I mean the original like.
The original idea is like, hey, they're gonna wear red, we're gonna wear blue, and anytime you see one of those other guys, you kill them.
Well,
why? Why, boss? Well, they've got a blue rag. We've got a red one.
Oh my God!
I sure hope it was a lot more than that.
No, it was. It became that, right? But you remember, like the guy Tookie who started the whole thing.
Tookie Williams.
Yes.
Shout out Tookie.
Yeah. Did they?
Rest in
did they
peace.
murder
Yeah,
him yet?
he's gone.
Okay, I know he was on death row. He was trying to appeal for a really, really long time and wrote all those, books. Had all those interviews about, taking back or at least.
Did you read his children's book?
Original thing.
No, you wrote a children's book. Huh? Yeah, I did. It was pretty interesting shit. Yeah, it was like like little Johnny who's opened up a lemonade stand, and but he's selling bricks. It was interesting. You know what I'm saying?
No, why? Like I don't even know why I even entertain that. I knew
little Johnny wants to open up a lemonade stand, but he realizes that cocaine is more popular in his neighborhood. People don't want lemonade around here; they want Coke.
Oh my God, Coke! I've been having so many interesting conversations about Coke lately.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, maybe it's just me, right? But like, it's not just me. It's me, and it's also like growing up in Philly. Because when you grow up in Philly and you black and you hear Coke, you think crack cocaine. At least when we were young, it's like if somebody called you a cokehead, they were calling you a crackhead when we was young.
Right
now. Coke is so recreational, anybody will offer you Coke on any given day. In LA, I guess that was cool always. In Philly, that meant you was a crackhead. Now, not so much.
Coke or crackhead?
Both.
Well, you're from the suburbs. No, so if someone's offering you cocaine, and I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought crack up, because this is a good tie-in back to Biden. That's right, Biden. You thought I let you off. We got a little off track, but no, buddy. I know you watch. I know you're watching.
But this is the thing, though.
But to your point, Coke is powder. Crack is a hard thing. And typically people who do cocaine don't want crack. But people who probably smoke crack, they probably don't want cocaine either, because it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you when we're talking about people actually doing the drug, but I'm more so talking about the stigma behind the drug.
Oh, right.
Also,
I blame Biden.
Just to throw a little wrench in something you said. Dice said that I'm from the suburbs. I'm not from the suburbs. I did go to high school in the suburbs, but
Okay.
I've lived everywhere. I had a father who was a street pharmacist. I know a lot about, or at least enough.
Yeah, you know a lot.
I know enough.
I never partaked in anything like that. Just for the record. But I'm hearing your point, and you're right. Yeah, you're not a suburban girl. I will say that. But when we met, you lived in the suburbs. But
Definitely. Listen, I'm all about upward mobility.
Right, there you go.
For sure.
We know it's not where we started, but where we finish.
Well, now I'm back in North Philly. So what does that mean?
Well, gentrification.
Yes.
Gentrification. The property values are up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So anyway, back to Biden, AKA America's biggest crack dealer of the '80s. Biden, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not gonna pin that on Biden right now.
Oh my God.
That was Reagan. You know what I'm saying? That was Reagan and Ali North.
What do you have against Joe Biden?
I don't have nothing against Joe Biden. You know what I have against Joe Biden and some Democrats, though. I will say this.
Wait. Let's just start with Joe Biden first.
He has this speech that he gives. It's like, I'm from Scranton,
Mm-hmm.
And in Scranton, we didn't have running water. And in Scranton, we didn't have shoes. And in Scranton, we didn't have socks. And in Scranton, we didn't have nice undershirts to wear under our button-up shirts. So when I first came to D.C., I wore a shirt without an undershirt because I was from Scranton, and I didn't know that.
You don't like that he
Scranton,
brags he's from Scranton?
I just think it's stupid because Democrats are always trying to convince poor people that it's cool to be poor, right? And that's the shit that the Republicans I don't fuck with Republicans either, but the one thing that I respect from them is they're like, yo, fuck all that broke shit. You know what I'm saying? And Biden's like, those guys who Wall Street bankers and, those other guys who got all the money and all those, yo, Shut up. It's like, yo, who cares? But if you don't like that world, you do not have to work in that world. You do not have to work with those people. You don't have to. You don't have to deal with them. You know, you can do whatever you want. You could just, but to totally try to push this narrative that he was poor when he grew up, and it's okay to be poor. Like, no, the fuck it's not.
I think he's trying to find a certain level of relatability.
Yeah, he loses me every time because I think like what they need to be pushing is get that $1.2 trillion. Now to your other point, they didn't know that it was going to end like this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They thought it was going to be everything was going to be peachy keen over there, right? They were going to get Democrats were going to have elections. Women were going to be able to use the library still and the internet. You know what I'm saying? They weren't going to pull the clamps on and shut everything down, right? And the Taliban lied. You know what I'm saying? But here's the part I'm really pissed. They spent $1.2 trillion on that infrastructure in another country where they gave these motherfuckers tanks. Mm-hmm. They gave them uniforms.
But who gave them tanks?
They gave them machine
Who gave them
guns.
uniforms?
The United States government.
Yeah, but they weren't. But we're not talking about how much you dislike Donald Trump or how much you're irritated with Obama.
I mean, well, Trump only gave him a little. Trump was only there for 4 years, so
no, Trump
out of that
has
1.2 trillion. I don't know how much they got under Trump. Barack was there for 8 years. I don't know how much they really got out of that 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, both of them, more than
but
more than Biden.
It started with Bush.
Yes.
It started with Bush. So you got 8 years of Bush, 8 years of Barack. That's 16 years. So Barack and Bush got most of the debt. Trump, he really don't got most of the debt. The tab was still running while he was in there, but not really much. But
you can't say whether he increased or decreased the tab depending on what it was he got in exchange for these things.
Right. But here's my point. They gave him. Hear me out too. They gave him tanks. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to Biden because I know you're watching, you bastard. They gave him tanks. They gave them uniforms. They gave them vehicles just to drive around, Jeeps and stuff. Hummers. They all got Hummers, right? They all got brand new Hummers. You know what I'm saying? With rims. You know what I'm saying? Because the desert, sand, you got to have rims. They got new camels. They paid for the salaries. They paid for everything. Salaries. For Afghanistan so they could stabilize and have a good democracy. That's what this was all about. And this is not just Biden. This is my main man, Barack Obama, but I know that, the white man tricked him with that one. You know what I'm saying? I know Barack, he didn't mean to do it. Because we spoke. But Bush, you started this nonsense, Bush. And out of the 400 years that I've been here as African American, where's my 1.1 trillion on my infrastructure? You spent that on Afghanistan. You spent that on the Taliban. So basically, the Taliban's got the tanks. They've got the corners. They've got the poppy plants. The sweet poppies have been taken over by the Taliban. Where the hell am I going to poppy seed bagel? There's going to be a shortage. Mm-hmm. They got everything. They got the tanks. They got the armies. They got the salaries. They got the guns. They got the infrastructure. They got the satellites. All that money we spent. Well, they spent. Because I didn't. Had they told me they were spending that kind of money, I would have had those funds redirected. I would have those funds redirected.
I don't think you could do that. I think your tax money goes to wherever they say it go. We won't talk about that.
That's another story. Mm-hmm. My tax money is going right where it needs to go. You know what I'm saying? There's loopholes for that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be damned if Uncle Sam gets a penny of my money. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Biden, you fudged up. You fudged up big Biden. And,
so what do you think he should have done?
Well, what Biden should have done is he should have just kept those troops in place so that those poor people of Afghanistan could have left safely, and we had people falling off of airplanes. They were so desperate to leave. It's one of the most heinous acts I've ever seen in my life. And Taliban, you do have an enemy with me. You just made an enemy here with Dice Fraud. I am on your ass, Taliban, for what I saw. What I saw was despicable. People so desperate for freedoms that they thought they would survive riding on the outside of an airplane like something you see in a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
They definitely did think that, but at the same time, and Biden made a point, he said,
We send our troops in, Biden. You send them back.
No. What he said was, we have our troops fighting for them and they don't want to fight at all. The people there expected because, everybody kept saying, we'll withdraw in 5 years. We'll train them. We'll train them to do it. And then we'll withdraw. And they've trained them.
For blacks?
And they've trained them, but they don't want to do it.
$1.2 million tonight delivered to an offshore account. We gotta get some cool black people around. Maybe I'll get on the phone with Jay-Z and Robert F. Smith, some smarter African Americans who used to handling big budgets. $1.2 trillion to the African American community tonight, or else. What if we had a chant like that? Don't you think that's something we should be saying? After they spent $1.2 trillion on Afghanistan dirt, where's my money?
There are people talk about reparations all the time.
1.2 trillion is not enough for reparations.
No,
that's
it
a good
isn't.
Start.
And that's the reason why nobody's throwing out $1.2 trillion.
It would be a good start. Because what you do is you take 1.2. We just start at one hood. Why don't we just start North Philly? We just dedicate 1.2. And I'm not saying that because that's where I'm from. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that's where the money should go because that's where I'm from. Maybe it should go to North Chicago. I don't know.
They dedicate it to North Philadelphia, and then you'll have people who sell their homes to other people, and then those people will gentrify those homes and make more money than the people who originally got that stuff. What I actually think they should do, and this is just my personal opinion, is I don't think black people should pay taxes ever. I also don't think that black people should.
We don't pay anything.
Also, don't think that black people should have to pay for education or health care.
Right.
I think that all three of those things should be free. And if you do that over 400 years, in addition to a cash settlement, the same that you do. No. Listen, what I'm saying is that every other group
get something
has gotten reparations.
Yes.
It's not a handout. Like it's what was deserved.
Right.
And you had
the slave masters got a handout. Because they said, hey, if we're going to give up our slaves, then we need to be paid for each slave.
Yes.
And they received reparations. So when the slave masters receive reparations and the slaves get nothing,
right?
I mean, they get nothing,
right? But could you imagine?
But why are black people okay with that?
It's not that they're not. It's not that they're okay with that. They're 13% of the population.
So that's 13% of a riot. That's 13% of America on fire until we get some shit. Because I watched the video of Stokely Carmichael the other day, right? And I never watched the man's stuff. I don't want to make it seem like I'm this conscious kind of guy, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm, a capitalist. I'm capitalist.
You're definitely a capitalist
scum. Okay, I'll be clear. I'm scum.
You're definitely
I'm capitalist scum. Okay, you got me. Okay, you got me. All right. Mm-hmm. At any case, watching Stokely Carmichael's video, I learned a lot, because he said that if the police or anybody that's white, Ku Klux Klan, whatever, white supremacist, if a black person is attacked, male, female, child, woman, boy, whatever, and we all need to react. Mm-hmm. Every time that happens. Mm-hmm. And since he recorded that video, which was in the late 60s, it never happened, ever, until George Floyd.
Well, let me just also say.
Until George Floyd, that's when, and it wasn't even every black person, but it was a lot.
Yeah, and when we look at George Floyd, right, and you look at all of the people who participated in what had happened, only one person got in trouble for it and didn't even get the max that they were supposed to get. And that's with all of black people fighting for it. So at the end of the day, when you think about what could actually be done, and I don't want to make it seem as if there's no solution. I'm just saying
there is a solution. That's the solution. Stokely Carmichael came up with it 45 years ago.
And then what happened to Stokely Carmichael?
I didn't watch the end of the documentary.
Okay.
What happened to him? Did he get shot?
Okay.
They killed him?
Well.
He got killed, right? Obviously. All right.
Oh. Professional stance.
Yeah. So anyway, because I'm about to do a real live interview now. Thank you for coming. We got to do proper respects for our guests. Our first guest.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Our first female guest, too. And I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, my God.
All right, anyway. And you're multifaceted. So you're not just woman about town. You're not just a fashionista, though a lot of people know you for your fashion. A lot of people are like, yo, Ciara, she had the dress that was the lady,
I can dress very flamboyant.
Yeah,
that is
people
true.
know you for your wonderful outfits and fashion taste. And a lot of women actually locally put you on kind of like a little fashion pedestal. I mean, I've heard a little bit. In Philadelphia, a lot of women like the way that Ciara Queen Joe dresses. But you also are a performer too. You have artists, you have songs and stuff.
Yes, I'm a rapper, which you should know, but
I think I did know something about that.
He's
I thought
so
you were a
ridiculous.
trap star, not a rapper. I thought you were,
Oh,
I thought you were
no,
a trapper/rapper.
No, I'm anti-trap.
Oh, okay.
I don't
I
support.
forgot that was me.
Yeah, that's you. That's you fully. That's you.
No, I'm just joking. But anyway, so you've been doing shows for like the last 5 years, and you've been like doing all around the country. You performed in L.A., New York. I mean, all kind of stuff. Like who you perform with?
So, I mean, outside of all of the wonderful Philly artists, because I feel like if I name them, I'll be naming them forever.
Right.
I have performed with Jungle Pussy, which Dice loves.
I just love the name.
Lion Babe, which
Wow, I know you love her.
really love her. I couldn't even believe that she actually listened to my music, which was like
I could see you
dope
guys
to
doing
me.
like a project together. You know, because you guys got that same hair kind of thing, same light skin, curly kind of thing going. I could see that. Lion Babe, Mom. Let's reach out to Lion Babe. Get on the show.
Oh my God.
Lion Babe, you got an open invitation. Anyway,
Oh my God.
who else you perform with?
Let me see. This is weird because I'm only going back to like 2 years ago. It's been the pandemic, so it's been hard. Other than that, I did Black Thoughts Masterclass and we had that show at the
that was
Carnegie
great.
Hall.
That was great.
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
saw a lot of pictures on that.
Yeah, that
videos.
was cool. That was dope.
But Jungle Pussy though, I gotta say, out of all the names that you named, like Black Thought's great, of course, and Lion Babe, oh wonderful. But Jungle Pussy, that's
the one.
That's a name.
That's the one for you.
that's a name because we were talking about that before on camera. Like, I mean, when you got a name like Jungle Pussy, I mean, do you gotta live up to the hype? I mean, because Jungle Pussy, I feel like it could either go either way, especially depending on what jungle you're from. Like, if
Oh
you're
my God.
if you're from the
Does it matter what
what's
jungle?
the South American jungle? What is it? The Everglades? No, that's
The Everglades.
That's Florida. That's Florida. Florida's the Everglades. Am I correct? That's like the swamp in Florida. Is
swamp.
the swamp really a jungle? No. So like what do they call the swamp in Brazil? Where that idiot's burning all the trees at? That Brazilian idiot president?
Oh my God. There's so
What do
many.
they call that part of the country? I mean, part
There's
of the
so many
world.
things. But Amazon, I already
Okay, the
said,
Amazon
we already talked
rainforest.
about being Amazon.
And then you got like, I guess like African jungle, and then you got like, I mean, you even got like Asian jungles, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, Jungle Pussy is a wide range. It's a wide range, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like the U.S. troops are in love with Jungle Pussy, and
Oh my God.
they've been making babies all over the place and not taking care of them. Have you seen this Haitian court today? The Haitian government has ruled that these fucking asshole U.S. soldiers, I mean, thank you for your service. Thank you, little Jimmy. But you can't go over to Haiti making half-black
Haiti.
babies and not taking care of them, Jimmy. Now you've told your mom back in Texas that she'd never have sex with an African-American woman. But you went to Haiti, you went wild, Jimmy.
They're not
And now-
African American. They're Haitian.
They're Haitian. Yeah, but close enough. They're still black. And you got half-black families in Haiti. The U.S. government needs to make these soldiers responsible for these children, these illegitimate children who didn't ask to come here. They didn't ask to come here, Billy. Jimmy. That's right. You got a half-black baby down in Haiti you're not paying for. You didn't tell Jenny anything about it, huh? No. You come back home, Jenny makes you, I don't know what white people eat for dinner, marshmallows and fucking sweet potatoes. They put marshmallows on top of sweet potatoes. I don't know why white people do it, but that's what they eat. You know what I'm saying? And Jenny makes you that dinner, and then you start eating with the first bite of yam and marshmallow. Makes you forget all about your whole African Haitian family you left behind, Billy. You abandoned them. I'm sorry.
There are white people in Haiti, but
Are they?
There are, but the United States government has been screwing over Haiti for over 30 years. This is not new. This is not the first time that they have gotten them pregnant. They also blame them for HIV after they brought it to them in the 80s. They have also came in with the Green Beret and kidnapped the Haitian president years ago and dropped him off in Africa.
Stop, say we got to do something about this.
They
My
also,
Haitian brothers, we gotta do something about
after
this,
several
man.
hurricanes, came over there in helicopters, and instead of helping people throw flip-flops out of a helicopter to help them walk through the rubble, flip-flops. Not to
But they
mention
spent
all of the
$1
money.
trillion on Afghanistan to give basically Osama bin Laden infrastructure. He was running around in a fucking jungle cave with a fucking laptop and a fucking hand pistol, and he fucking still pulled off 9/11. And then you guys go back
What do you
and
think
then ate him.
of? What do you think of Cola Booth?
Who?
Cola Booth.
I don't know who he is. I know Shia LaBeouf.
She.
Sheila
So
Booth?
Cola,
Sheila
so
Booth, the
Cola,
rapper, the white rapper.
so Cola Booth
like her,
is
though.
supposedly one of Osama bin Laden's mistresses. She's a black woman. She lives over here in the U.S. and she writes like sex books. And according to her, she steals and has stolen everyone's men, including Kimora Lee Simmons' man. And yeah, she's a very
Cola Booth. That's her
Cola
name?
Booth.
Cola Booth. Is she cute?
I think that she is.
Bomb, bring up Cola Booth. Tell me if you think she's cute, Bomb. I want to know if she's Bomb's type.
What is it? COLA?
I think it's KOLA.
Kola. Cola Booth.
Mm-hmm.
Cola Booth. Is she Haitian? It's like a French name. Cola Booth.
No.
But if you say it like that, it sounds African.
This is Cola Booth.
Cola Booth. All right, let's check you out, boo boo. Cola Booth. My first viewing of Cola Booth. She's got a lot of makeup on. She's got some high cheekbones. Kind of like Dennis Rodman with a wig. Oh, I've seen enough. Oh, God. Cola Booth, not my type. Sorry. I don't know. You can never steal me, Cola Booth. But have you stolen Russell Simmons? Okay.
Yeah, she said. She.
Cola Booth, not my type. I'm gonna say that. Old Coco. They call it Coco?
You can find a picture. There's so many of them.
Do they call it Coco for short?
I don't know, but if you read her book, you can check it out.
books.
She's Twitter famous.
Oh, really? With
Yes.
a face like that, huh? I guess if you can, if you like, she did get a lot of rebounds from Michael Jordan when she played for the Chicago Bulls. Hey, Cola Booth. I want to call it Coco. I'm gonna call it Coco because she needs a nickname. Cola Booth just doesn't go. But I knew she was gonna be unattractive. There's always the unattractive, overly makeup. People saying how they took somebody's man back in the day. Like, nobody wants to hear that. You took people's man. Whose man did you take today? You had sex with Osama bin Laden. Very unpatriotic, Coco.
Well,
Very unpatriotic.
she said that she was a hostage, that she was one of his she was one of his concubines, but she didn't want to be.
I don't believe it, Coco. Coco, I don't believe it. If Bin Laden, but now you were a concubine, but now you're using it as your claim to fame. Which one is it, honey? Either it was a horrible situation that you want to put in the past and you never want to think about it again, or you're trying to exploit the Bin Laden family. Which one is it, honey?
The Bin Laden family.
Which one is it? If you want to claim the fame, you got to tell me you got to steal somebody that's hard to get. Like, tell me you stole Barack Obama from Michelle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, let's be real. Michelle, that's going to be pretty hard to steal. It'd be hard to steal any black man from that. She's got some buns back there. I mean, Madam President, no offense, and Barack, we're friends. So I feel like I can, matter of fact, Mom, reach out to Obama, see if we can get him on the show. But listen, Barack, we're friends. And, I feel like I can be honest with you. Your wife, she's attractive, I mean, she's not necessarily someone I would date because of age restraints and things that people may consider to be off-putting. Off-putting. But she's a hottie. So, hey, Coco, why don't you tell me you got Russell Simmons, but nobody gives a fuck about Russ.
Desmond Hansu.
Who? I
Desmond
never heard
Hansu.
of him. Was he working with Russell Simmons?
Have you ever seen Amistad?
Amistad. Give us free guy.
Yes.
She stole him? Mm-hmm. Who cares, honey?
And Russell.
Who
She said
cares?
both.
Two cue balls. Two ugly guys. Look, like I said earlier, I don't like my own kind. You know what I'm saying? So, why don't you do like bald guys? But Russell, I gotta pull the plug on Russell, and I gotta pull the plug on Give Us Free.
On Give Us Free.
Yeah, Give Us Free because there are no prizes, honey. Coco, you tell me you fuck Barack Obama, okay? Then I start listening. You know what I'm saying? You stole Barack from Michelle. Then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe the kitty cat's good. I don't know. From where I'm sitting, doesn't look too bright, honey. I would pass. I would pass on the Coco. Cola Booth.
It's Cola.
It's a hard pass for me. Hard pass. Sorry, honey.
Oh my God. Well, Cola Booth is very funny, very witty.
Okay.
Twitter famous.
Okay.
She just
So there may be blowback from my comments. Is what you're saying? Okay.
well, you would love that. So
I
Cola
don't want to
Booth.
entertain any beef with African American women. Coco, if you want to beef with me, listen. If you had any offense to what I said, honey, you get with Bomb. I'll bring on the show. You guys ask me any questions you want. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Cola, if you're watching this, definitely.
Open invitation. Open invitation. Yeah. We'd love to have you.
That is too much. Well, anyway, I was hoping that you knew who Cola Booth was because I was. You know what? Now that I think about it, because we talked a little bit about the Me Too movement for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've never been Me Too'd or anything. I've never been Me One'd. I can't get Me Too'd if I haven't been Me One'd yet. So.
oh my God, you are still as ridiculous as always. But have you ever met Dream Hampton?
Yes, I know Dream very well.
What do you think of Dream Hampton?
I think she's great. I've never had any interactions with the woman. I've never been one-on-one with her in a closed space. I've never had any interaction, no romantic, anything with Dream Hampton, nothing.
Okay, I wasn't saying that.
I don't know her like that. I just want to put that out there just in case.
I'm just saying
At first you
Dream
said Me
Hampton.
Too, then you said Dream Hampton. I don't
No,
know.
I'm saying Dream Hampton was, a beloved hip hop artist, videographer,
Was she a
historian.
hip
to
hop
some,
artist or was she like a
I meant like
publicist or like a writer or something?
not like an art, not artist as in a rap type
Oh,
of
but
way.
just artists, like
But
African
just
American
artists,
hip hop artists.
Yes,
not
just
using
artists,
rappers
right?
or
Not
campus, but-
rappers,
okay, got-
not
I love how
rappers,
you-
not
I love how this.
But
person
just a writer, a historian, just
I'm
always in
picking
the
it up.
culture.
I'm a little slow, but I'm picking it up.
Yeah,
now.
but then she withdrew from doing that because there's
Oprah.
Oprah.
Well,
You think Oprah?
Say Oprah had a lot to do with it, but continue.
Oh, okay, maybe you know. No, maybe you know more than me. I just know that I was such a fan, and then she just stopped and said that that the industry wasn't kind to her or black women, and that she didn't want to continue. And then I know a little bit later when the Me Too movement first started that they wanted her to be part of some documentaries, and I don't know enough, but a lot of people know
her. She was
her.
a part of the R. Kelly one, wasn't she?
I think she was.
Yeah, Dream, you brought R. Kelly down. She's responsible for that. You brought him down, but he actually needed to come down.
Yes.
R. Kelly, yo. I mean,
yes. The girl just testified
age
that
ain't
he
nothing
made.
but a number. Boy,
The
you
girl
never know
just
what people-
testified that he made her eat her own feces.
Ooh, R. Kelly, Lord have mercy. But I mean, can a person make you eat your own feet? See, here's the thing about all the stuff that people are saying that R. Kelly made them do, right?
Mm-hmm.
A person can make you do all kind of shit. Only if they're gonna kill you or they're gonna kill your family. Mm-hmm.
You don't think he threatened any of those things?
I just don't know where you would believe it at. Like, okay, like if R. Kelly was like, Dice, I want you to eat this fucking bag of Cheez-Its, but with shit on them. And
But
if
Dice,
you,
you
don't do it,
are
I'm gonna kill your family.
But Dice, you
Like,
are
R. Kelly,
a
you a nut. Like,
you are a
don't have that
man-
kind of power. He's not Lucky Luciano.
but
He's
you
R.
are
Kelly. He's an idiot.
But you are a man from North Philadelphia.
Right.
You are a man from think of the women in your life, the ones you know the most.
All the women in my life are very smart, and all the women, past, present,
They're
I've only
also
dated smart women.
they're also
They would
very
never fall for any
sweet.
R. Kelly's tricks.
But they're also very sweet.
They would never fall for his tricks.
These girls are 13. What do you like?
My mom at age 13 wouldn't fall for that. She would see R. Kelly coming a mile away.
Okay.
My grandmother's very intelligent. No, but you're right. On a young, impressionable mind,
They're
you don't know what
13.
the hell's going on.
Somebody-
you may think he's a gangster. I mean, there's people who may
They
think R. Kelly was a
testified about Aaliyah's alleged abortion at 15. And nobody thinks Aaliyah was dumb. I don't.
We don't know. We don't know what Aaliyah's intelligence level was like. But at the same time, it's not even about Aaliyah's intelligence level. It's about all the people around him and around her that would let something like this even get out of control.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. The record company, you got to bring Jive in on this. You got to bring RCA Records. There's no way you're telling me that they didn't know that he was having sex with underage women.
I'm sure
Bring
that
everybody in the court.
I'm
You gotta
sure they
tell-
knew.
There should be a huge investigation, and the bodyguards, all those guys, because like if you got a minor and you got her in a room, and if one person does a sexual act with a minor or a male minor, how about that? Because there's male kids out there getting raped too.
That's
so
true.
So you got a minor in a room with anybody, and something bad happens, and nobody says anything, even if they had no interaction with that, they are guilty too. And they all got to go in. They all got to go down because you can't fuck around with kids. It's like when you fucking with kids, there's no, there's no room for gray or I don't know or blah, 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 blah.
That's very true.
Not with kids. Now with Aaliyah, her parents were in on it. Sadly, in this sick world, you can have enough guala that where the parents look the other way because they think that this is at the long run, this is going to be beneficial. Your daughter, your 14-year-old daughter, having a relationship with I don't know how old R. Kelly was back then. 26-year-old guy, whatever the fuck, 24, 26.
Older than 24.
Yeah, 24 is too old. If you're 10 years older, if you're 30 and your girlfriend is 20, there's kind of like a little bit of issue with that. I'm not saying anything like. But, there could be a little bit of miscommunication going on here. You know what I'm saying? Especially depending on how some people are raised. You know what I'm saying? What they've been exposed to. You know what I'm saying? What their life experiences are like. You know what I mean? But so with kids, you really can't fuck around. R. Kelly, shame on you, R. Kelly. I haven't listened to I Believe I Can Fly for years. It was my favorite song. I can't even listen to it.
Oh, man. I Believe I Can Fly. We sung that at our, third grade, fourth grade graduation.
Everybody sang it.
Yeah.
It was the song to sing at graduations.
That and Boys to Men.
And now R. Kelly, that should have never be sung again. Matter of fact, somebody else is going to have to come out and do it, but who's going to touch it?
Who's going to do what?
I Believe I Can Fly.
Oh.
It's not gonna. Nobody's going to re-record that till 50 years from now. And then guess what? It's going to be a massive hit. If people can come out.
Who you think?
It's going to be like Chris Brown Jr.
Oh, my God. Chris Brown Jr.
son.
Oh, my
Chris
God.
Brown Jr. is going to do I Believe I Can Fly. It's going to be a little controversy on it because of R. Kelly, but most people that are alive now won't be then.
The worst part about
And Chris
it
Brown
is
Jr.
that...
isn't alive yet.
But the thing is that even if somebody re-sung it, that money would still go to R. Kelly and his family because he also wrote it.
Well, we go to his estate or to go to the victims that he harmed. Because after you get convicted, and he came up with a lot of those songs in the bedroom. Like he was in the room, like having sex with like a woman while he was singing "I Believe I Can Fly," or a young woman, or a minor actually. Not even. He was having sex with a minor while he was doing those songs. So I think at the end of the day, the royalties may actually be re-administered to the victims.
That would be interesting to see.
I mean, just totally just destroy the man. But life choices. R. Kelly, I can't condone your choices. You were telling women to eat feces. You should have been telling them to eat Cheez-Its. That's where you fucked up at, R. But anyway.
That's where he fucked up at.
Well, actually, you're right. He fucked up a long time before that. Yeah, I'm like,
He was 12 years older. He was 26. She was 14.
Yeah. I was about to say, I know it was more than 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 26, she was 14.
Yeah.
Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
He was 14, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
she got
his
pregnant
parents were
at
in on it
15.
though, so what are you gonna do about that? When your parents say you can fuck, I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, you fuck with that young girl. It's like, her dad said I can fuck her. At that, what do you say to that? What's your argument after that? Oh well.
First of all, why would you even want to be in that conversation?
I'm just saying, like when you're in a world where you're dealing with
like
that
you
kind
think
of
when you think about
absurdity.
somebody that's 14, that mean they just got out of the 8th grade. They're
Right.
on their like the
Here's
stories
thing.
that they told was like
75 years ago, people were getting married out of 8th grade.
Yeah.
Men were buying houses in 9th grade age where they were putting down money on their first house. Now,
I
mind
know.
you, they don't make men the way they used to, okay, boys? But they don't make people the way they used to.
Yeah, my
So,
grandmom
the
got
rules are
married
different.
to a man who was 25 years older than her and dropped out of school at 16.
Right, but she was 16, not 14.
True, but they be grooming them at 14 and she
They
got
was grooming them at 12.
married at
They was
16.
grooming women to get married at 8. You know what I'm saying? When you had 20
There are
women in
other
your house-
places there are other places in the world that still do that.
Look, arranged
Child
marriages-
marriage is nasty.
And well, here's the thing: forget child marriage. That's just stupid. But arranged marriage is more successful than the other way.
What do you define as successful?
Divorce rate. So
because you're not allowed to be divorced.
No, I'm not saying you're not allowed to be divorced.
No, that's what they're saying. That's what Evans.
If you live in a country that's just got a low divorce rate, you live in a country that's got a low divorce rate. I'm not saying divorce is illegal in some of these places.
No, what I'm saying,
in some places it is.
I would say they're illegal,
Some places it is.
And not just that, the women aren't allowed to work, which means that once you divorce, you have nothing. Your father, who sold you so that you can become part of this family, paid the dowry so that he no longer had to afford having you as a woman in his household, is not going to give you any money. You can't find a job. So a lot of women are stuck
talking about money. So money is the theme that you brought up in the last maybe about 2.5 seconds.
It's less about money and more about financial freedom due to financial opportunity.
Forget financial
They're
freedom.
not allowed to work.
Well, forget working, forget money being the most important thing. Let's take a place like Luxembourg, right?
I don't know what happens in Luxembourg.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Per capita was the richest place in the fucking world. Like the people there to make the most money out of all people based off salaries and how many people is there, cost of living, yada yada yada. It's the place where people got the most skrilla. You know what I mean? They're banking over in Luxembourg. And America's not so bad either. Russia, billionaires, America billionaires. Mm-hmm. Divorce rate in Luxembourg, 64%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In India, 1%.
That's because financial freedom means that women
what's
don't have to
working?
deal with abuse. Why is that working?
I'm just saying, if you got 1% divorce rate,
because you're not allowed to be divorced, or else you would go hungry and not have anywhere to live.
You can get divorced in India, and that's not necessarily the case for everybody. But I'm just saying, most arranged marriages in India,
they have to stick together. Most of them are. That does not. Successful marriages mean that people should be relatively happy. And
I'm sure that there's pockets of happiness.
And yes, pockets.
Pockets. I'm sure there's pockets of.
And that equals success to you. I'm sure that there are pockets of black. There are pockets of black people who got rich. So what is the point? That's true too. There are pockets of black people who are rich.
Worst case scenario.
So then, does that mean that you don't believe in reparations because pockets of black people are rich?
Well, it's not even pockets. If you really want to define like what rich actually is, it's like 6, 7, maybe not even. It's probably like 6 black people.
Are we talking about rich or are we talking about wealthy?
We're talking about 6 black people that got some real dough, like 6 Americans. Mm-hmm. You got Bob Johnson, Oprah, Robert F. Smith. Sorry, Robert. I didn't mean to say Kennedy. I meant to say Smith. Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, now Rihanna, Diddy. There's 8.
Those sound like a combination of people who are in the public eye and who are in the entertainment industry. There are other black people who are rich.
$900 million. No, there ain't. And black people that's upwards of $900 million. Nope, that's the club. It's only 8 of them.
It's
right?
only 8, and we're not talking about just in entertainment. We're not talking about anything else.
Because Robert F. Smith is not in entertainment. He's Vista Equity Partners. He's in finance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a small group of them.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that there are any many
white billionaires.
Of course, and if you go outside of the U.S., there are hundreds of blacks too.
No,
but
there's not hundreds of black billionaires. If you go outside the United States,
no,
you got a few. No, it's like 20 of them altogether.
In the whole world, you think there's 20?
In the whole world, yes, 20 black billionaires. It ain't many. You got Rafiki, you got Hove, you got Rihanna. I mean, there's a few African billionaires.
There's a lot of African billionaires
than American billionaires.
Yes,
because they weren't slaves. They weren't enslaved. Some of them.
Yeah.
In any case, there's no money. That's all I'm saying. There's no money. So, to your point, the billionaires, we're talking about the marriage. So, when you got people who are married, who can stay married with no money, versus people with all the money, they can't stay married.
No, this is the issue. The issue isn't that people in India don't have money. We're talking about
divorce rate.
Yeah, but we're talking about men in India being able to make money and women in India not.
Women can work in India.
This is the thing. When you live in India, and I know this because I worked for an immigration firm. When you work in India, a lot of times it is a family salary.
Oh, word? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So you don't necessarily. So even
You're
if
not
you
really
want to.
working.
No, you're working. You're just not really receiving. Depending on who is the head of your household will
Taking the
direct the money. So at the end of the day,
I like that.
you would. But
That makes sense to me.
but if it were the opposite, right,
That
and
would
you
make
were
sense to
working
me.
and you were working
Yes.
and somebody else decided what to do with your money,
Yes.
which meant that you couldn't drink what you wanted to drink, eat what you wanted to eat, wear what you wanted to wear, because if your significant other was like, I'm not into that, and no, you can't do that, you would like that. That's a successful marriage.
India. Well, if I'm in India, I'm it's legal if I kill my wife.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm joking. Beautiful Indian joke though. And if I was Indian, I would not kill my wife. And actually, I'm the kind of husband. The money might have to go to the woman of the house. Just to be totally clear, it'll probably be we'll probably have a better household if the woman had her hands on the finances. If I had that kind of relationship.
sometimes people have that and it works out well.
Yeah, and look, I'm not mad at that. You know, there was old villages where all the women they would stand behind the men. The men would sit in a circle and they'd smoke peace pipe, and then the women would make the decisions from the back of the men. You know, and now they didn't always listen, but for the most part, it worked out. It was a good system.
You know, whenever I think, people always say things like, you know, back in the day, people stayed married. It was better when our grandparents, and it's just like, no, your grandmother a lot of the time was dealing with abuse. My grandmother had not my grandmother, my great grandmother had to live in a house that had 2 bedrooms because they didn't believe back then you could rape your wife. So if she laid in the bed with him and he forcefully had sex with her, that it wouldn't mean anything. And so my grandmother, you look at people who have great grandmothers who had 12 children, 14 children, 15 children that they didn't want to give birth to.
Right.
Not all of them, you know, and they're going through miscarriage after miscarriage, bodies flailing. But at the same time, they're not divorced and they can't work. They have zero financial freedom.
Right.
My great grandmother had to have a 2-bedroom and pretend that she was ill and faint and sick so she could sleep in another bedroom so she wouldn't get pregnant. That to me did not mean success.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, when we talk about success, if we could just paint it with a broad brush, we just say divorce rate. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, you know, my grandfather and grandmother, they did get divorced, but which they didn't have to your point, they didn't have even the craziest relationship in my family. The craziest relationship in my family was my pop and my aunt, who was my grandfather's cousin, who was married to my grandmother's cousin.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my grandfather.
So by aunt, we talk about your great aunt.
My great aunt and my
Yes.
great uncle decided to get married, right? Now, my great uncle, he was the kind of guy, he would come out if the neighbors was having a fight or something, like, and it was Sunday football, he would come outside and be like, oh, yeah, shut up. Go back in your house. And they do that shit. Like, that's who the fuck he was. Like, he was crazy like that. But, you know, he shot up the refrigerator in the house, like, filled it up with a full clip. And my aunt never left him. Like, they just never broke up.
Well, listen.
And she had a separate bedroom.
She did. Well, she listened.
All right, so anyway, this is the Dice Roll Report. We had a great time with our first female guest, actually our first real guest. Does Phil or Greg count? No, not really. All right, so our first guest, Ciara, a.k.a. Queen Joe, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Oh, it's been a blast. Bomb, you know what to do.